Come on in live. Where's my live crew at? It is Friday. No, come on in. Come on in. Let's get this show on the road. Come on in. Hey, Anna, how are you? How are you doing today? Hop, what's up? Y'all know how it is. How y'all doing today, Mr. Hopgood? If y'all don't follow my big brother Charles Hopgood, y'all need to go ahead and do that right away. He is the king of credit, and so I want y'all to follow him. Okay, so when you see his name, click on it, follow him, follow his business pages, and make sure he does lives on a regular basis where he's dropping like huge bombs about credit restoration tools, tips, all that. So make sure you follow him. That's good. Work is good. Being at work is good, Anna. So hope you guys are having a good day. It's Friday. Miss Coleman, how you doing? Hope you are having an amazing day. I'm just sharing this video, so if y'all can also do me a favor, just like Anna did, make sure you say, talk to me, holler at me, say what's up. And then in the process of doing that, if you would hit that share button, I would be so grateful. And then, of course, always make sure if you got questions or comments, please leave them throughout this this video, and I will make sure I come back at some point and read them. Charles Hopgood is his name. That's who it is. Charles L. Hopgood II is his name, actually. So, and then also, like I said, last but definitely not least, make sure you hit, don't play me on the stars, on the thumbs up and on the hearts during this video as well, okay? Again, share, say what's up, make sure you get the hearts and the thumbs up, and of course, definitely hit that share button. All right, cool. So again, I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Because I know I am. It's Friday. We got a lot to do, so I'm gonna give you guys this information, and hopefully it helps you. So this question that we're answering today, or that I'm going through, was given to us a few weeks ago when we did the show on money and finance, and so there were several questions that were not answered, and so my commitment to you all was that if you ask the questions over the next several weeks, I would do my part to use those questions as for videos, so I can answer your questions. So today's question was, how do you speed up the process of wealth building? It is understood that eliminating debt it is understood eliminating debt and lowering expenses, but how do you decide where to put that once you've achieved the goal of decreasing debt and expenses? So I'm gonna ask it one more time. I'm gonna read the question to you that I'm answering today. The question that I got was, how do you speed up the process of wealth building? It's understood that eliminating debt and lowering expenses, but how do you decide where to put that once you've achieved the goal of decreased debt and expenses? So, phenomenal question. Y'all, again, as you're coming in, make sure you hit the share button. If you got questions or comments, put that on the video, and give me my stars, give me my thumbs up, give me, not stars, I don't know why I keep saying stars, give me my hearts, give me my thumbs up, and again, hit the share button, ask questions, say what's up, and give me my hearts and my thumbs up. Y'all can give me my hearts, so I hope, again, this information is something that over the next couple of days you think about, and not just think about, but begin to make changes in your own individual finances, okay? So again, I'm gonna read the question one more time for those who are just joining, so that way you have the context by which I am responding to. So the question again is, how do you speed up the process of wealth building? It is understood eliminating debt and lowering expenses, but how do you decide where to put the money once you've achieved the goal of decreasing debt and decreasing expenses? Okay, so cool. So with that being said, here we go. So here we go. So to answer that question, there's a couple of things that as a financial planner, financial advisor, financial coach, that I would have to ask and get your answers. So the question that you want to ask, and you'd ask yourself these questions. Number one, you want to know, what is your risk tolerance? So for those who are not sure what that term, risk tolerance is just a financial word for, or a financial phrase for saying how well do you handle the ups and downs that come with investing. So what do I mean? If you guys, for example, have been following anything about Bitcoin and the trading that's happening with Bitcoin, you're seeing that Bitcoin has gone from being $100 a share to $1,000 a share to $20,000 a share, to the next day it's back down to $17,000 a share. The following day it's back down to $10,000 a share. Then the next day it might be up to $15,000. So how comfortable are you with that kind? We call that volatility. So just the ups and downs of the market. So we want to know that, do you have a conservative risk tolerance, meaning that you can't deal with a whole lot of fluctuation and you need to see something stable. Then that's one thing. If you have an aggressive risk tolerance and you understand the fluctuations and it doesn't bother you, then you can invest more aggressively, and that'll determine the direction in which a competent and caring financial advisor will take you in. Okay. The second question that you need to ask is, what is your time frame? So, what that means is simply how soon do you need this money? Because even if you do have an aggressive risk tolerance and you need the money in 6 months, then that again is going to determine the direction in which you need to go in terms of speeding up your wealth creation. Okay. Third thing that needs to be determined is what's the money being used for? So if the money is being used to pay for children's college, is it being used to buy you a house? Is it for retirement? Is it used for buying a vacation home in Bora Bora when you turn in 15 years? It really it can also help determine where the money goes. And then number 4, the fourth thing that needs to be answered is, how much money do you really need? So your end result, what's your end goal? Are you giving me $100,000 expecting it to turn into $1 million because that's how much you need to retire? What is your end goal is the other question that needs to be asked. So based on those 4 questions, your financial advisor, your financial coach, whomever, is going to be able to recommend a little bit more specifically what you need to do. Okay. But then you're asking, so how do you speed up wealth creation? I'm glad you asked. So here's how the legitimate way to speed up wealth creation. You have to increase, and this is assuming, again, based on the question, that you've already increased the amount of money that you're investing. Okay. So I'm assuming already that you're increasing the amount of money based on the question. But the only other part to this equation is you've got to become more aggressive and become more risky in your investment portfolio. And however you do that, there are multiple ways you can do that, but in some way you've got to say, I've got to take more risk. The problem with taking more risk is, obviously, there's more opportunity for loss. Any financial advisor, any investor, anybody who has their sense of, what's the word I want to use? Anybody who knows anything about what they're doing will inform you that there is no such thing as an opportunity that does not have the risk of loss. There is no such thing. Putting money in your checking account, there is a risk of loss. Putting money in your mattress, there is a risk of loss. Putting money in the stock market, there is the risk of loss. So no matter what you do, there is going to be the risk of loss, okay? And if you read the fine print on any investment that you make, there's going to be language in there that says that there is an opportunity for the risk of loss. That is why when you walk into your bank, you see that sign that says FDIC, or you walk into your credit union, you say SIPC, or when you invest with some, Investment World has their own version of insurance again. But even in those situations, there's always a chance of loss. So you got to go into it knowing that in the back of your mind, or really in the front of your mind, so you know you're prepared as you invest. Okay. So again, how do I do it? So you increase your risk. Think about it like this. If you are looking at if you are a conservative investor, the average conservative investment is going to give you something to about 2 to 3, to 4 or 5% a year. Whereas if you are in something that is riskier, you're going to get closer to the 7 to 10% range. So that automatically, that difference in the amount that you put in and the difference in the interest rate, the rate of return, is what's going to help you become more, you're going to speed up the wealth process. So, okay, you say, Winfred, I don't like the investment world. I don't want to do stocks. I'm scared of stocks. What else can I do? Cool, I understand that. Though I think you definitely should do that. I think we definitely should all become comfortable and confident in the stock market, which is, we can probably talk about that later, but all of us are competent enough to invest. I'll just say that. All of us are competent to invest. We just have to become comfortable with some of the terminology, and we have to be comfortable in understanding where we want to invest. And that's typically what I tell people is, if you don't do this for a living, then use the things that you are comfortable, or the areas of the market that you are already comfortable in, or the products or services that you are already comfortable in, and study and invest in those areas, because we don't all need to invest in everything. Everybody doesn't need to invest in tech. There's other industries that do just fine that are not tech or that are not healthcare. But if you're comfortable in those areas, then you also know the companies in those areas or in those sectors that will perform well, because you have an understanding of those sectors. Okay, so you don't want to do that. What do you want to do? The other thing you can do is you can start your own business. As an entrepreneur, as a business owner, over the long run, you have total control of the outcome, of the financial outcome of your business. And so what you do is you can start your own business to help, again, bring in even more income. So that money that you just saved by eliminating debt and expenses, you then can turn that money, begin your own business, so you can grow your own exponentially, possibly, if it's a good business. You can exponentially grow that money into a consistent stream of income that you can then invest into whatever you like. You don't want to do that? Cool. Here's another thing you could do. You can, if you don't want to be an entrepreneur, you can be an investor in an entrepreneur. So most of you guys watch like the Shark Tank type shows. You can, or The Profit or something like that. You can take be something like that, and maybe not on a grand scale where you can give somebody $50,000 for 20% of their company. But most of your startup entrepreneurs are looking for people who will come along and be financial backers to their business. So you can say, hey, listen, I like your business. I like what you do. Can I be an investor for a percentage of, I don't have $50,000, but hey, listen, you need $10,000. I will give you $10,000 for X percentage of your business. Now, of course, before you do that, you want to do your due diligence and make sure that the business is good. You want to make sure that there are clearly defined roles. You want to make sure the business plan is correct, all that kind of stuff, and some other things. But that is a way that you can take your money and grow it and create wealth faster. Okay, here's another idea for you. Real estate. Investing in real estate, and investing in real estate is such a huge area, because you don't necessarily have to be, you can buy the property and flip it. You can buy the property, a multifamily unit, and rent it. But if you don't want to be a landlord, you can invest in real estate trust, or you can be a real estate investor, meaning where you put your money with other people who want to invest in real estate, and they manage the property, they manage the business, but again, you are an investor. So just like we talked about with investing in somebody's business, you can do that specifically in the area of real estate, okay? And you can do that in other areas too. But again, real estate, depending on what you're trying to do, can be of consistent cash flow. It could be a consistent, if they're flipping, you can get consistent returns on your investment, okay? Another area of opportunity is trust. So again, if you're trying to create wealth, which is what we're talking about, then you can create a trust where your role, again, is just to put money in there for, for whatever it is. And the other thing which the trusts do also is they help decrease your tax liability. So if you're taking personal money and putting it into a trust, then there are some tax implications there. See a tax attorney, and they can help you with your CPA. But you can also do that as a way by reducing the amount that you're paying on in taxes. You're in essence increasing your wealth, because again, you have less money going to taxes, so even more money that you can invest, put into a trust, put into insurance. There are certain insurance products that you can do the same with. So there are tons of opportunities out there and things that we can do. But ultimately, before you decide what you're going to do, I highly recommend, I highly suggest that you do your homework. One of the reasons why that I find in my 17 years of financial services experience, one of the biggest reasons why we are afraid to do certain things is because, number one, we don't have the education, and number two, when we've tried things in the past, we've gotten swindled. And so in order to keep ourselves from being swindled or exposing the fact that we don't know, we just don't do. So what I want you guys to do is take the time, figure out what it is that you love, what it is that you do, what it is that you have a passion for, and start investigating that specific area. And through that, you will be able to find places that you can invest and ultimately increase your wealth. So I hope that helped. I hope that gave you guys some needed information. And again, feel comfortable. You don't have to always start out with tons of money. You can start small and work your way into it. You can, take some risks that you can afford, but don't be afraid to take some risk, okay? All right, guys, I hope that helped you. This is Financial Fridays. I'm Winfred Burns. I'm your financial coach. If you have any questions, please feel free, again, to inbox me. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Please feel free to email me at winfredburnsii@gmail.com. Or again, put the comments in this video and I'll come back and I will check them out. If you don't follow me on YouTube, go to my YouTube page as well. You'll see some older videos, not just on finance, but we talk about finance, we talk about ministry, we talk about leadership, and of course, we talk about entrepreneurship. So that's what you're gonna get from me. All right, I love you guys, and of course we're gonna laugh and joke. And then y'all gonna see Trey's World too. But anyway, so go to my YouTube page if you haven't subscribed. And again, it's Winfred Burns II. And if you haven't signed up for the Money Mentor email list, do that as well by hitting the sign up button on my page. All right, love y'all. Peace out.